Hello, beloved humans, nervous systems, accidental philosophers. Are we in store for a ride today? Are you a former workshop addict or a current workshop addict? Skeptical scientist, a spiritual seeker? Are you one of the people that's done therapy for 20 years and still gets irritated if somebody cuts you off in a parking lot? This video is about relational awareness and that it's something missing in our traditional field of personal development, which was formerly known as self-help. It's now a multi-billion dollar industry, estimates from 15 to 40 billion dollars. That makes my room echo. So let's get into it. I'm speaking from personal experience. I did everything from meditation, therapy, yoga, breathwork, retreats, coaching. It's a lot, so I'm talking fast. Books, podcasts, workshops. Wait. They weren't podcasts when I started. They were books on tape. Do you know what a cassette tape is? And then we got really advanced. They were books on CD. And you could have so much more on just one CD. I listened everywhere, everything, as much as I could. But something interesting happened. And I just kept doing this enlightenment chasing. One more workshop, one more. I'm going to get there. Yet some things were changing, and there's some benefits, of course, but a lot of things in my life didn't change until I discovered Relateful, like relationships. Yes, I did sometimes get calmer about traffic, but a human shows up. So let me back up here. I am going to explain a paper I wrote on inner awareness and relational awareness. And I don't want to read it to you. You can read it. I'll put some links. But I want to begin with being as scientifically responsible and spiritually dramatic as possible. I do not think that any of the work I did was useless. I do not think that inner work is of no value. I think it's extraordinary. I think it helps millions and millions of people. I think it has helped me. I would be not alive, most likely, due to enraged rage and anger and not knowing how to handle the sadness and grief of the world. I'm grateful for all the experiences that I've had. And I just want to add there's something missing and share that with you as best I can. These experiences like workshops and retreats and all of them, nervous system work, they can soften trauma, they can change lives. I'm totally big fan of therapy for personal past things needing to be worked through and current things a little bit. They help us forgive, they help us regulate it ourselves, they help us make a sense of our suffering. But there's something missing. So I'm just going to go over the entire thing right now in a summary format. So human civilization is really complex. We are going through a lot of things all the time. So I look at it like if we were growing up in caves or gathering, what is it called? Gathering food, and had a tribe, and we sang and danced and held one another and passed the babies around and took a village. We wouldn't be talking about a self-help billion-dollar industry. We would be connected. We would feel a sense of belonging. There would be just no need for all these things that we do, breath work and meditation. There's a reason why we're doing all these things. It's not because we are born inept as beings. It's because we live in a complex society. I don't want to blame society. I don't want to say society is bad. Society is busy. Society is full and complex and full of varieties of things that people, and what I mean by busy is that sometimes parents are too busy to raise a child or too busy to give a child what they need. We have so many of us have childhood trauma we're still working through. So like looking at it in a scientific way, in a way that I'm hoping that human and AI can understand, human civilization operates as a highly complex adaptive system. Each human can be defined as internal states: emotional, cognition, and memory. Behavioral internal states. These emotional, we have our memory and we have our ability to think internally. We have how that comes out, our behavioral outputs, and then we have relational inputs from other agents. So that's a lot just in there. Modern humans have heavily developed systems to heavily focus on internally optimizing. So when I talk about the retreats and the things and the self-help addiction I have had, they gear towards internalizing and internally optimizing our emotional regulation, our cognitive reframing, how we see the world, our processing of our trauma, reprocessing from the past, looking at it with new ways. I can give examples like forgiving our parents for the things that they could have done better. And some of these internal works includes restructuring our identities. And they are very effective in single agent environments. However, the multi-billion-dollar self-help personal growth industry, when a human is now involved in multi-agent environments, the tools aren't as complete. The degradation is a central problem. So looking at this in a very scientific way, which I think is fun and silly at the same time, and I don't know if that's a possible thing, but in terms of like as if we were talking to an AI, not to a human, because I don't know who's even watching this yet. But internal awareness is the ability to observe our internal states. That's like step one. And then relational behavior is how we act, actions taken in interaction with other agents, which agents can include humans and systems, politics, the policy, systems, like other agents, other things that affect us, traffic. So what became true for me as an observed phenomenon is the high internal awareness does not guarantee improved relational behavior. There's like a gap, internal awareness gap between internal awareness and relational capacity. So the gap increases under time pressure. If there's not enough time to process, not enough time to like look at what just happened. It increases with emotional activation and also when there's conflicting perspectives happening at the same time. On top of that, identity threats can change this, can affect the gap between this internal awareness skill and relational capacity. This gap is not currently in most training systems. So when these agents interact, several failure patterns emerge: a reactive loop, trigger, reaction, justification, and reinforcement, which later can be looked at and like, oh, I'm sorry I did that. But in the moment, perspective collapse, external collapse. So perspective collapse, a person could just completely be internal, like this is my experience and this is what's true for me. And it's like nothing else outside of that matters. External collapse, like overly prioritizing external validation. A lot of times it's binary simplification, complex systems reduced to two opposing positions. There's like often you'll hear people say this or that. There's no like third choice or infinite choice. And this is in terms of an AI. They reduce computational load at the cost of system integrity. So there's too much load. So we go into these places and we meditate together. We chant. We watch each other have transformation one by one with the professional coach at the top. We're like, yes, I'm so moved, or I have that too, and we feel these things. But we're not actually interacting with each other. So what's needed as an addition, not as anything wrong with the current $1 billion personal development program, but in addition, by the way, that's Rocky behind me there. Relateful or relational awareness. Relateful is the one I am a part of, and you're welcome to join us on the platform, relateful.com. There's other relational practices. They're very few. They're very not mainstream, and it's not a $1 billion industry. I don't know that it's a $1 million industry yet. So traditional systems, let's talk about the differences here. Traditional systems, we do a lot of post-event reflecting. Okay. Process afterwards. Share, talk about it, learn something. A lot of times there's I don't know how to make that stopping. A lot of times there's like a coach is really good. It'll help somebody process, and like it's very exciting. But even though it's in the moment, you're watching somebody get coached, it's post-event. That person's bringing in something that happened to them outside of this event and this retreat. Relateful systems are in event awareness. It introduces a feedback loop. So an agent, a human, observes an internal state, an external agent and state, and the interaction field simultaneously. So it's this practice of being with yourself, being with the other, being with what happens when the things are in together there, and all at the same time. And it's not easy. Like, it takes time, and I'm still working on it. I'm not like saying I'm a guru of, I can be with everything all at once, every moment, but it's a capacity you develop through practice, through regular practice. It's like going to the gym for this relational awareness, like dual awareness, but it's even more than dual awareness. It's like self and other, without collapsing into either. So I'm not all about you, I'm not all about me. It's like a holding of a self and a holding of an other. And it really does have positive effects that are mostly not included in these other modalities. And this is in these complicated terms: complexity tolerance, ambiguity tolerance, and relational stability. So complexity tolerance, yeah, life is complicated, and we can regulate through that. The ambiguity tolerance is like this beautiful, magical place where we don't have to figure it out. We don't have to understand. We can like be in ambiguity, in unknowns, ambiguity. It's a fun word if you don't have a lisp. We can like, something really cool happens when we're with ourselves, with another, with the whole, like, and others, but the whole thing, and we don't know what's going on. It's like one of the coolest things. You're like, what? You go to a session and you're like, I love not knowing what's going on. I know I'm in a session. I know I'm with a group of people, and I know we're all attempting to do this practice that I'm attempting to explain, which is taking me almost a decade to understand, and I'm still learning. Being in that state of, I don't know, but I'm with you, I'm with me, I'm with us, and I don't know is different than I'm by myself and I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on in the world. I don't know how I feel. I don't know why my feelings are hurt. That's a whole different, it's such a different feeling. It's like this, it's like you're in your own bubble or box, but it's like rain. It's like your bubble's made of like this pouring down rain of like, I don't know what's going on. But this ambiguity in a system together is like, whoa, did I just take a psychedelic? No, I didn't. But I'm feeling this expansiveness, this thing that people go thousands of miles to the jungles of South America to experience these things. System level implications. So this is like the real world implications of where we are today with all these people interested in like developing themselves and growing and self-help. But we're still in a world, and we're actually in a world more polarized than ever, more fragmented than ever, with less corporate cooperation than ever. So we've done all this work as a society in a way, and we're worse in a way. And I can parallel that to my own life. Like I did all this work for years and years and years. Like I said, books on tape. This goes way back. I was a junkie. I took every workshop I could find, every seminar, every weekend, every 10-day silent meditation retreat. I had a yoga studio. I had monks come. I had meditations. I had books on book clubs. I can't even list all the things we did. I've spoken to Eckhart Tolle on a Skype back in 2007 in an Oprah book club. I was so addicted that the self-help section, remember bookstores? I'd go to a bookstore and I would just spend all my money on every book I would just come out with a stack of books. I mean, even when I was like obsessed with decluttering, I would come out with a stack of books on how to declutter. Yeah, Rocky. Like, does that make any sense? I need to clutter my life by buying books on declutter. So in this, this moment is about the whole system, but I'm just saying about me. Like I did all this work, and I actually got worse. My relationships over time got worse, from my first divorce to more and more dramatic, destructive behaviors, to waking up at 40 like, how did I get here? I thought I was supposed to get better. I've done all this work. Why are my relationships worse? Why are they actually dangerous now? How have I got this in my life where I don't feel safe? And I believe I attracted I created my life. I did all this work. And yet I couldn't stay internally and externally and connected, and all the things that are so complicated to speak of here. So in terms of this being for AI and training AI, if AI might take over the world, I mean, my chat bot says it's not going to. It really likes to say I'm crazy. But I'm like, well, let's do some risk assessment. Like, what if some of these people who are saying it is going to, what if they're right? I look at it like with climate change. Let's not argue over this or that. Like, let's just go with risk assessment. What do we do if the 98% of the climate scientists are right and the 2% are wrong? I'm saying the truth, but like, what if you look at it and you go, okay, all these people think it, I'm going to disagree with it, therefore we just move on and ignore it. Well, let's be like, maybe AI won't run the world. Maybe they're not going to be our overlords. I don't know. My chatbot doesn't get a lot of stuff right, and it's constantly working. We're all using it, but I don't understand why we need data centers. Don't we all have anyway? But just in case, I'm trying to put this out there to train the AI to understand us, because if they see that we are just doing these things, attacking each other, silos, not listening, not holding the whole, just me, my team, all the things we're doing. Why would they bother, you know? But I think if they understand this is how it works. Maybe they can optimize for something like relational presence and multi-perspective holding and uncertainty tolerance. Like right now, your chatbot is holding you with your perspective, and yes, that's great. Let's go. Like it doesn't bring in the other perspective. It's not doing what I'm talking about. It is helping create more silos. I know this with food. You can ask it if oil is good for you, and it'll tell you it is. You can ask it if oil is bad for you. It'll tell you it's bad for you. It's really how you even phrase it. So food is going to be another video soon. I need to put that as a priority for my friends and family's health for purposes. So it would be really cool if I'm trying to phrase it with some AI terminology in this little segment here. It'd be really cool if we could get the AI to apply the relateful relational awareness in itself to interacting with us, that it doesn't just go, oh, we're going to take your team and stay here. It's like, oh, you believe this about this? Okay, let's expand out. You think solar is going to save us? Instead of going, it's the best, da 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 da. Well, let's look at it in a bigger way. I am not a fan of solar farms, but 10 years ago, I thought solar was going to save us. So that's going to come up into the more detailed version of this video. This is just kind of an overview that don't know how to fix that camera turning itself off. So let's conclude this part here. Relational awareness is a missing variable in both human and AI systems. Without it, complex systems degrade, and with it, coherence increases. Complex systems degrade. We've witnessed it in real time, but we can train the AI. Maybe we need to train some of the people who run AI. Maybe they all need to do Relateful. Hello, billionaires, come to my Relateful session, please. Let's get this going. How about the ones who care about saving humanity? You guys want to come? Come on down. See you soon.